7 signs someone is secretly your enemy. Imagine this. You're standing at a crossroads, clouds of doubt swirling around you. To your right is a path cluttered with overthinking, a familiar comfort, but ultimately a mental cul-de-sac. To your left lies a path lined with clear intention and action, a road less traveled but paved with purpose. Which one do you tread? In a world spinning faster each day, where information pummels us from every direction, it's no wonder we often find ourselves trapped in the relentless labyrinth of our own minds. Overthinking, it's like being caught in quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. So how do we break free? And more importantly, how do we harness this mental energy towards something vastly more productive? Let's look back at an enduring beacon of wisdom, Stoicism, not just as some ancient relic, only for dusty bookshelves, but as a living, breathing philosophy that's incredibly applicable today. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." It's a reminder that while we can't control the chaotic tides of the world outside, we have all the power in the world to navigate the seas within. Here's where the magic happens, in the pause, a breath between thought and action. Stoicism teaches us about this pause, this small space where we can redirect the energy from overthinking into strategic action. Seneca often spoke about uncluttering the mind. He believed that by streamlining our thoughts, we could move from paralysis to purpose. It's about mastery over your mind, turning the coiled spring of overthinking into purposeful motion. When you feel the grip of overthinking tightening, ask yourself, is this thought within my control? And if not, can I let it drift away like leaves on a stream? This is not denial, but a profound shift in focus. Channel that mental power into problem solving. Break your concerns down, list actions you can tackle right now. Take it from theory into practice, one deliberate, intentional step at a time. But remember, the Stoics weren't emotionless androids. They felt, just like you and me. What they mastered was the art of emotional alchemy, turning troublesome feelings into fuel for virtuous actions. It's not about becoming less human. On the contrary, it's about becoming more deeply in tune with what it truly means to be in control, rational, and connected to your purpose. Epictetus reminds us that it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but the views we take of them. So, what if we choose a different view? What if we could see each moment of overthinking as an opportunity to practice patience, understanding, and to shift our energy towards actions that align with our highest selves? This transformative journey from thought to action, from chaos to calm, is what builds resilience. The kind that doesn't just help you survive this chaotic world, but thrive within it. So, as we stand at this crossroads, remember, the path to an unshakable mind is within your grasp. It begins the moment you decide to take that first step. Rule 1. Actions versus intentions, the Stoic observation. Imagine standing in front of an imposing wall of fog. It's dense, thick, seemingly impenetrable, a perfect metaphor for the tumult of emotions and thoughts that often swirl within us. But what if I told you there's a way through that fog? A way not just to see, but to thrive in clarity and purpose. This journey from the chaos of overthinking to decisive action is where Stoicism becomes a beacon of light. Stoicism isn't about numbing yourself to emotions, nor is it about sprinting away from your problems. It's about embracing them, understanding them, and using them as stepping stones. This ancient philosophy has guided countless individuals across time, now finding renewed relevance in our modern age. It's like a well-worn path that you can follow, leading you to a more centered and purposeful life. In the shaded porticos of ancient Greece, Stoic philosophers gathered discussing principles that would transcend time, laying the groundwork for emotional mastery and resilience. These ideas now guide individuals everywhere, helping them to carve out peace amid life's constant noise. You see, the Stoics invite us to refine our inner terrain before we seek to conquer the outer world. They invite us to replace reactive habits with deliberate actions. Every feeling of overwhelm can indeed become a moment to reset. The Stoics remind us that every challenge is a chance to practice patience and align our actions with our highest selves. When you face a wall of fog in your life, what do? Do you stand there, frustrated by your inability to see clearly? Or do you take a step forward, trusting each step will bring clarity? The Stoics teach us that the fog is part of the journey. By stepping into it, we transform fear into action. Each deliberate step you take within that fog builds resilience. The kind of resilience that not only helps you survive this chaotic world, but allows you to thrive within it. Isn't resilience more than just weathering the storm? It's about emerging stronger, more attuned, more capable. And this is where the beauty of Stoicism lies. The philosophy gives you permission to pause, reflect, and then move forward with a resolute mind. Remember, the path to an unshakable mind is within your grasp, just waiting for you to take the first step. So why not take it now? Let your actions, shaped by thoughtful intentions, be your guide through the fog and into the clarity that a Stoic life offers. Rule 2. The disguised critic, identifying backhanded compliments. Let's dive into something we've all encountered but might not have fully understood: the disguised critic. You see, sometimes criticism sneaks up on us, not in harsh words, but in backhanded compliments. It's like when someone says, "Wow, for someone like you, that's really impressive." It might seem like a compliment, but underneath, it can carry quite a sting, can't it? You've probably heard such comments even from people you consider friends. The world is full of these disguised critics, subtly undermining your confidence while masking their true intentions behind a facade of kindness. But here's the thing: Stoicism teaches us to discern what truly matters and how to respond without letting these remarks undermine our inner peace. Understanding the motive behind disguised criticism requires a bit of emotional judo, turning their energy back towards a place of self-reflection and growth. Seneca, through his letters, often hinted at the importance of living a life untethered to external validation. He taught that wealth and status, like these compliments, are not the true sources of our happiness. Instead, he championed the pursuit of virtue and resilience in the face of such veiled attacks. Why does this matter? Because when we're equipped with the knowledge and confidence in ourselves, such attempts to destabilize us don't stand a chance. This is what Seneca advocated: a life where external opinions don't dictate our self-worth. It's about creating a fortress within, where your value isn't defined by what others say, especially in those sly, underhanded ways. So, how can you use Stoic principles to deal with backhanded compliments? First, pause. Recognize the disguise for what it is: an opportunity to practice patience and understanding. Then, reflect on their words without taking them to heart. Ask yourself, are these comments revealing more about them than you? Often, those who criticize others in this way are wrestling with their own inadequacies. By grounding yourself in the Stoic practice of focusing on what you can control, your reaction, you not only protect your inner peace, but also cultivate a resilience to emotional turbulence. Remember, your worth is not determined by external chatter. Your strength lies in who you are and how you choose to respond to the world. Whenever you face disguised criticism, let it remind you of the Stoics' wisdom. Allow it to be a stepping stone towards a life unfettered by the opinions of others. It's your journey, your mind, and you have the power to shape it. As Seneca would urge, aim for virtue. Let that be your guide, not idle words meant to perturb your tranquility. Now, picture this. Each trial you endure, each comment you rise above, is shaping you into a stronger version of yourself. Isn't that what we all want? To not only weather the storms, but emerge wiser and more composed? So next time you encounter a backhanded compliment, smile inwardly and let it slide, knowing you're cultivating an unshakable mind. Rule 3. Emotional triggering. Recognize attempts at destabilization. Imagine you're standing in the heart of a storm. The wind roars, debris flies, and yet, there you stand, a calm amidst the chaos. Why? Because amidst this tumult, you've discovered the secret to mastering the emotional whirlwind around you. It's all about recognizing attempts at destabilization, and more importantly, not letting them pull you under. In this fast-paced world, we are bombarded with emotional triggers, comments, actions, or even subtle hints that try to push us off balance. But what if I told you that every emotional gust can be met with the steady resilience of a mountain? The key lies in those powerful Stoic teachings that have guided thinkers and leaders for centuries. Picture Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus as ancient guides leading you through today's emotional labyrinth. Now, think about the everyday moments that test your emotional armor. A colleague makes a cutting remark, or perhaps a friend forgets an important promise. Each of these moments is an opportunity, not a setback. The ancient Stoics would say that our biggest triumphs don't come from avoiding these challenges, but from how we respond to them. Do we allow them to anchor us in frustration or let them drift away, untouched by the chaos? One powerful Stoic practice to navigate these waters is Epictetus' dichotomy of control. It's about clearly distinguishing between what you can control and what you cannot. Can you control another person's whims or moods? Absolutely not. But you can control your reaction. You can choose to sidestep emotional traps and focus on your inner peace. This is your sanctuary. And here's another wonderful tool, cognitive reframing. It's a fancy term for a simple practice, changing the way you look at things. When you see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than impediments, you gain power over them. This isn't just about putting a positive spin on things, but truly altering your perspective to see every challenge as a stepping stone. Marcus Aurelius himself mused on this. With each obstacle, the way builds on itself. Our path will emerge as clear as the rising sun. Have you ever noticed how certain situations or people seem to trigger you in predictable ways? Here's where emotional awareness comes in. By identifying these triggers, you become a step ahead. You transform from someone who reacts to someone who thoughtfully responds. You become the eye of the storm, centered and confident. Stoicism doesn't ask us to ignore emotions, but to understand and manage them. When faced with destabilizing attempts, see them for what they are, tests of your resolve and opportunities to refine your strength. Emotion isn't the enemy. Improper handling of it is. Acknowledge your feelings, understand their source, and choose your course with intention. In times of turmoil, remind yourself of this. Like the great oaks that sway with the wind but remain firmly rooted, so can your mind remain steady amidst life's challenges. These storms don't define us. Our responses do. So the next time chaos knocks on your door, answer with a smile, knowing you're armed with the ageless wisdom of Stoicism, anchoring you in a place of inner equilibrium. And as we journey through this, never forget, life is less about staying on course and more about knowing how to course correct. Let every emotional trigger be like an arrow pointing you towards growth, resilience, and peace. That's the true power of recognizing and transforming any attempt at destabilization into your personal victory. Rule 4. Inconsistent behavior, spotting the unsteady ally. Imagine a friend who is full of surprises, but not the good kind. The kind who changes plans last minute, switching sides faster than you can blink, leaving you in a whirlwind of confusion. How do you handle such an unsteady ally? The answer could lie in understanding and mastering the Stoic art of managing inconsistency, not only in others, but within ourselves. You might wonder, how does Stoicism help me spot inconsistency? Well, it's all about perspective and preparation. The Stoics teach us to anticipate life's fluctuations, much like weather changes that we prepare for but cannot control. As the saying goes, the anticipation and acceptance of life's challenges reduce the unknowns that often trigger overthinking. This preparation not only minimizes overthinking, but also sharpens our ability to spot unsteadiness, whether it appears in the form of a person, situation, or even your own wavering emotions. Let's consider emotions, which, like an unsteady ally, can be unpredictable. They have the power to throw us off balance if left unchecked. But here's where the Stoic mindset comes in handy. It teaches us to not be a passive recipient of these emotional tides, but to actively engage with them. Imagine being at the helm of a ship with emotions as the sea. You can't control the waves, but you can certainly adjust your sails. This power lies in anticipation, preparing for the emotional storms, and acceptance, embracing them as natural and transient. Now, let's apply this to spotting inconsistency in relationships. Picture a person whose behavior changes erratically, like a friend who's supportive one day and critical the next. Instead of reacting impulsively, a Stoic approach would mean observing these patterns without judgment, assessing them against what you know to be consistent with virtue and reason. By doing so, you're not swept away by their inconsistency, but anchored by your clarity and understanding of the situation. Moreover, spotting the unsteady ally within yourself is about recognizing your own fluctuations. We all have days when we're confident and others when we're riddled with self-doubt. So, how does one build stability? It's about transforming this recognition of inconsistency, seeing it as a chance to realign with your core principles. Every wavering moment becomes an opportunity to steer back on course, refining your ability to respond with resilience. This isn't just a philosophical exercise, it's practical wisdom, knowing that what you do internally reflects externally. So next time you face inconsistency, whether from within or from others, remember the Stoic lesson. Prepare for it, accept it, and use it as fuel for growth. Let it become the mechanism through which you cultivate an unshakable mind. And as you do, watch how the world around you begins to stabilize and align alongside your newfound steadiness. With this mindset, every unsteady ally becomes a guide pointing you back to yourself. Every inconsistency, a stepping stone toward becoming the master of your emotional landscape. So, embrace the chaos, welcome the uncertainty, and transform them into the foundations of your inner fortress. Rule 5. Excessive extraordinariness, awareness of over-friendliness. In the chaos of our interconnected lives, there's a peculiar phenomenon that often escapes our radar. Excessive extraordinariness, particularly the over-friendliness that seems to pervade social interactions. Now, don't get me wrong, friendliness is a beautiful trait. It can light up rooms and build bridges across vast social divides. But have you ever felt a kind of friendliness that felt too polished? Too eager? Like a coat of fresh, glossy paint over questionable woodwork? You know, that brand of friendliness that's almost too good to be true, making you wonder, is this genuine, or are we stepping into the realm of something else entirely? This is where awareness of over-friendliness comes into play. Over-friendliness can mask intentions, hide insecurities, or even act as a tool for manipulation. In a world where outward appearances are lavished with filters and personas, deciphering true sincerity becomes an art. It's about cultivating a Stoic discernment, distinguishing between the friend who's genuinely there for you and one who's simply a social chameleon. This brings to mind a powerful insight which I find incredibly relevant. In fact, the author describes this perfectly in a line from The Unshakable Mind, understanding that our peace of mind should not be sold for the sake of external validation. Instead, it should anchor firmly within our authentic selves. Think back on the last time you felt overly complimented or instantly comfortable with someone new. It's like meeting an actor who's practiced their lines to perfection. There's something that feels unnatural. Perhaps they pile on the flattery, agree with your every opinion, or seem constantly available at the slightest call. Ask yourself, does this build a foundation of trust, or does it plant seeds of doubt? What we need is awareness, an internal compass that guides us through the murky waters of exaggerated social niceties. This doesn't mean you reject kindness or close yourself off from genuine connections. Instead, it's about approaching every relationship with a discerning eye, much like the Stoics of old. They taught us the value of seeing beyond the surface, valuing authenticity over grandeur. Sometimes, we encounter over-friendliness because people are terrified of being disliked. Other times, they leverage it as a strategy, thinking excessive positivity will open doors or win them favor. But remember, just as a house built on sand cannot withstand a storm, relationships built on false pretenses cannot endure the trials of sincerity. So how do you foster this awareness? Begin by pausing. Before getting swept up in the current of charisma, step back. Observe patterns rather than individual waves. Is this friendliness consistent over time, or does it seem to wax and wane with circumstances? When you find yourself questioning intentions, lean into that curiosity. It's your intuition trying to reveal a deeper truth. Also, reflect on what Stoicism often reiterates across its pages: the virtue of simplicity. In connections where simplicity reigns, you find mutual respect and understanding without the need for excessive fluff. Strive for relationships that allow emotional clarity, where silence is as comfortable as conversation. Remember, awareness isn't about suspicion, it's about depth of perception. It's creating a dialogue with your inner rational voice and ensuring that your emotional compass points towards genuine interactions. In doing so, you're not just protecting your peace of mind, but fortifying your inner world against the waves of insincere exchanges. By the end of this journey, you'll find that the relationships which endure are those that are rooted not in the temporary blaze of excessive extraordinariness, but in the steady warmth of authenticity. Embrace the beauty of knowing when to lend your ear and when to take a step back. And as you do, find solace in the fact that you are crafting a world around you that's as genuine and unshakable as the mind you've cultivated. Rule 6. The lack of support, identifying absence during challenges. Have you ever found yourself feeling isolated, even while surrounded by a crowd? Or maybe you felt the cruel silence of absent support when you're facing life's challenges. It's a profound truth that in our most difficult moments, the lack of support can truly accentuate our struggles, like trying to row a boat without oars in the middle of a stormy sea. Think about it. Times of adversity are when we need our allies the most, yet it's also when we often discover the real absence of support. This absence might not be physical. Sometimes it's the emotional void that's most palpable. It's like standing in a room full of echoes, the sound of your own voice bouncing back to you, but devoid of any reassuring response. Let's take this insight and spin it around to empower us. The real strength lies not in bemoaning the absence of support, but in identifying it, and moving beyond it. One classic metaphor that resonates here is the story of the lone wolf. Wolves are typically pack animals, relying on their group for survival. But the lone wolf has learned to adapt, to find strength in self-reliance, and this becomes its greatest asset. In fact, the author describes this perfectly in the line from the book. While we may not have control over the events that happen to us, we have absolute control over how we choose to respond to them. The absence of support is just another event. It's how you respond to it that matters. When support is lacking, it often reveals an opportunity to build an inner resilience that no external force can grant you. So, how do you cultivate this resilience when support is absent? Start by tuning into your own inner dialogue. Ask yourself, what can I control in this moment? What actions can I take that align with my values and goals, regardless of external assistance? This is about fostering an internal sanctuary, one where your emotions are acknowledged, yet not allowed to dominate your narrative. Moreover, remember that seeking support doesn't always have to mean relying on others. Sometimes the most profound support is self-support. Developing mechanisms like meditation, journaling, or simply being in nature can create a sense of community within yourself. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, often wrote about the comfort of knowing oneself deeply as a fortress against the unpredictabilities of life. And another critical aspect is recognizing the support that comes in unexpected forms. Sometimes, unexpected allies appear in times of need. It's essential to remain open to unconventional sources of strength, whether it's a book that inspires you, a quote that reinvigorates your spirit, or even strangers whose brief interactions leave a lasting impact. By acknowledging and adapting to the lack of traditional support, you can transform it into a period of profound personal growth. Each challenge you withstand in isolation becomes a testament to your fortitude. And over time, ironically, this kind of strength attracts the right kind of support. Genuine connections founded not on need, but mutual respect and shared strength. As we navigate this journey of self-reliance, let's celebrate each moment of solitude as a chance to add another layer to our inner resilience. After all, the most unshakable minds are those that find stability not just in community, but in themselves. Through this lens, the lack of support becomes less of a crutch and more of a crucible, forging you into a person who's not only prepared to face life's challenges, but ready to thrive despite them. Rule 7. Diverging values, the importance of shared principles. In a world that's constantly buzzing, where chaos seems to dominate and the noise never truly fades, grounding ourselves in shared principles can be the calm amidst the storm. It's not just about finding people who mirror our beliefs, but about cultivating relationships where core values are in harmony, creating a symphony rather than dissonance in our lives. Have you ever wondered why some connections feel so effortless, while others feel like constant struggle? It's like trying to find a rhythm in a relationship where the beats are off sync. Our relationships thrive when they are guided by values that align, because true harmony occurs when we're not just individuals dancing to our own tunes, but part of a larger melody that respects and uplifts each other. Think about a moment when you met someone and it felt as if you'd known them your entire life. What made that connection so profound? It's often rooted in shared values like truth, integrity, or kindness. Such principles act as a natural compass, guiding us through conflicts, decisions, and the unpredictability of life. They create a strong foundation, akin to the roots of a mighty oak, weathering any storm that life might throw its way. In fact, the author describes this perfectly in this line. The unshakable mind is built not in isolation, but through the resonance of shared values with others. This shows that while self-reliance is vital, it is equally important to cultivate relationships that reinforce and support our values, amplifying our strengths. Now, why exactly do shared principles matter in the grand scheme of relationships? Picture a team trying to achieve a common goal. If every team member has a different playbook, chaos ensues. But when everyone's aligned towards the same goal, not weighed down by divergent values, they can move fluidly, like a river flowing gracefully towards the ocean. In a relationship, shared values are that common playbook, allowing you to navigate with fluidity and purpose. But what happens when values diverge? When you find yourself on paths so different, conversations become debates and understanding becomes elusive. That's when the fabric of the relationship is tested. Divergence in values is not necessarily a harbinger of doom, but rather an opportunity for reflection. It challenges you to evaluate the core of your beliefs and make conscious decisions about the path you want to walk. Ultimately, the value in shared principles is not just in what we gain, but in what we become. Each interaction fortified by mutual respect and understanding shapes us, strengthens our resolve, and enriches our lives. We move from the chaos of clashing ideals to a tranquil symphony of shared visions. So, as you forge your relationships, consider the values that matter to you. Engage in dialogues that explore these foundations and build bridges that are strong enough to withstand life's inevitable storms. It's in this intentional alignment that we're not just molding relationships. We're crafting a harmonious life, one bound not just by moments, but by the principles that define them. The transformation. As we draw this exploration of Stoicism to a close, I want you to imagine, for a moment, a life where the noise of the world dims just enough to let you hear what truly matters. Your own sense of purpose, your values, your inner peace. It's a world where you're not reacting to every external chaos, but instead, crafting responses that are thoughtful and deliberate. This is the ultimate transformation that Stoicism offers, a shift from being tossed by the waves to becoming the calm amidst the storm. Why is this transformation so powerful? Because it changes the way you interact with everything around you. From your relationships to your career, to the way you perceive life's challenges. When you harness the power of Stoic principles, you are more equipped to live intentionally and not just survive but thrive. It's like stepping out of a shadow, seeing the world and your place in it with new clarity and coherence. Consider the unpredictability of life as a canvas upon which the artistry of our choices paints the picture of our existence. This is where Stoicism's wisdom shines, echoing the sentiment. At its core, Stoicism teaches us that while we may not have control over the events that happen to us, we have absolute control over how we choose to respond to them. It's simple, isn't it? Yet, it embodies profound freedom. Think about it. You cannot control if the skies decide to pour rain on your planned picnic, but you can choose whether to dance in the rain or grumble over wet clothes. You may not dictate the actions of others, but you can decide whether to hold on to resentment or to forgive. Each of these decisions shapes you, enriches you, and empowers you. Let's bring this into your daily life. Imagine handling stress from work. A project deadline is approaching and tension builds. In the chaos, you pause, just for a moment, and harness that internal freedom. You decide to focus on what you can control, prioritizing tasks, communicating effectively with your team, perhaps even finding a meditative moment amidst the busyness. The stress, while present, is tempered by your response, your stance amidst it. And this transformation is not a solitary endeavor. As you refine your responses, you inadvertently set a standard, inspire others, and elevate your community. It's a ripple effect, each choice creating waves of positivity that extend far beyond yourself. In embracing Stoicism, We are not striving for a life devoid of emotion or hardship. Instead, we're cultivating resilience. We're building that inner sanctuary, a robust mental and emotional fortress where peace resides, ready to be called upon at any moment. Ultimately, the essence of living stoically is about being anchored. It's about embracing each day with a spirit of inquiry and a commitment to improvement, knowing that even in the face of adversity, your spirit remains unshakable. As you step back into the world, remember, the power always lies in how you choose to respond. That's real transformation.